The Athletic dropped a top 25, and it's all over the place. I mean, that's the way I would describe it. Just a couple things to identify from this immediately. Marquette, second overall, the same Marquette team that just lost to Michigan State in the round of 32 pretty comfortably. And I don't know if you know this, Cart. Michigan State returns everybody but Joey Hauser. Marquette returns everybody but Omax.
Omax.
And Michigan State brings in essentially the best recruiting class in the country that's not Kentucky's. Marquette brings in nobody, pretty much. So fascinating there that Marquette ahead of Michigan State. Going down the list, Illinois and Wisconsin, 14th and 15th. That makes 4 Big Ten teams in this top 25, 4 in the top 15. Michigan State is at 6th on the list. Purdue is at 4th on the list. And then there's a lot of other things you could maybe nitpick at this that we might get to in a moment. What are your impressions of this? Is this a good list? And what are your biggest gripes?
This list is not that great, to be honest with you. And before I get into this, I just want to send a shout out to CJ Moore, because for the folks out there who don't know, CJ Moore can hoop. When I hooped with him at the Final Four, it explains to me kind of why he's honestly that high on Marquette. He hoops like Tyler Kolek a lot. So that kind of explains the Marquette love, I think.
Is that an insult or a compliment? Because you don't like Tyler Kolek, though.
I like CJ Moore. I don't like Tyler Kolek, but okay. CJ Moore hoops like Tyler Kolek. Okay. I'll say that. Yeah, this a lot of baffling decisions on this list. You brought up the Illinois, Wisconsin top 15. When making a list, it's extremely hard. You know that, Greg. Like not everyone's going to agree with the list. That's part of the backlash or what comes with the game of making lists. But there's moments where you make lists and you put teams in certain spots, and it's like you can't make an argument for that team. There's no world where in a preseason ranking, when you're looking at what teams did in the offseason, what teams done this whole summer and what they did based on last year, that Illinois and Wisconsin should be top 15. It's just not. That's just wrong. That's a mistake. I think they should look back at that and see that that's a mistake. The other one that I noticed as well, I think Texas is 23 is too low. Texas should be higher, and Virginia should be nowhere near the 25.
Okay. There's a lot of people that are in on Virginia in a way
wow.
You and I aren't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Kihei Clark gone? People excited about that? I don't know. So where to start here? I think this list is horrible. I think building lists is hard. Okay. I think building lists is not fun. It's not easy. In some ways it's a pointless exercise, but at the same time, like, lists are fun. We should build more lists. That's fine. This year in college basketball, you're not going to feel good about this list no matter who you put in there. Like, I think outside of the top 6 consensus, maybe top 7, top 8, if you want to lump like Kentucky in there, I think it's a total shit show, for lack of a better word. Like, from 9 through 25, you're going to be picking teams you don't feel good about in their spot. It just is what it is. And I would encourage anybody blasting this list to try to make their own list, because I think when you go through and try to put teams in spots, you're going to end up with decisions like, maybe, is Illinois 14th? I don't know. Like, there's not teams you like much better than them on paper when you start to do it. However, this list violated some like non-negotiables for me, which is why I have an easy time saying this is a horrible list. There's no world at all. There is no outcome on this planet. If we simulated it 1,000 times, there's no world where Marquette finishes second in the country. There's no world they're the second best team in the country at any point this season. They're just not. They're not more talented than Duke. They're not better as a roster put together or better than last year's version of Purdue, let alone this year's version of Purdue. They're not deeper or better than Michigan State. They didn't upgrade as well as Michigan State did this offseason, and they just got beat by Michigan State. So, like, there is just no justification for the hype on Marquette being that high. You could talk me into Marquette like 7th maybe, and I have no issue with that. If you want to put them as high as 5th, I wouldn't even complain. Ahead of
Coach Gregory?
Shaka Smart. Ahead of Duke, Purdue, and Michigan State is just absurd. And I know that Vicini and CJ Moore are great basketball minds. I don't understand why they like Marquette so much. I don't get Tennessee over Michigan State. Don't get that at all. I think there's a non-negotiable top 5. Michigan State's 5th in that for me. Like, I don't understand it. Why is Tennessee ahead of Michigan State? Do you have any idea how Tennessee could possibly be ahead of this team in this exercise?
The only thing I can think of is that Tennessee is going to be one of the older teams in the country. Like Vescovi's playing his 9th year. Ziegler's been there forever.
They're not as old as Michigan State.
Hosea, Jordan James, like.
But that's,
I mean, if you're asking me,
older.
if you're asking me, is there any world where Tennessee should be ahead of Michigan State? No. That's the simple answer. No. I don't think I don't think Tennessee fans will put their own team over Michigan State.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And I guess if you ignore Michigan State's freshman class coming in, then I guess Marquette and Tennessee would make sense. But it totally ignores one of the biggest reasons why I'm excited about this Michigan State roster. And then going down the list, like, okay, we have to talk about Illinois and Wisconsin. If I was doing this exercise, would I have Illinois or Wisconsin in the top 25? No, I would not. Again, do I think it's crazy? Maybe a little. Wisconsin more than Illinois. Like, Illinois' talent, at least you can talk yourself into. Like, okay, if you're buying Ty Rodgers as a breakout guy, whatever. And Terrence Shannon's still on this roster, and Terrence Shannon is awesome. Coleman Hawkins is a guy the NBA might want to get their hands on. Not a lot of teams have that. Wisconsin makes no sense to me. They bring everybody back from a team that stunk last year. They're 15th.
Who's their coach?
Because they bring everybody back. Greg Gard. What is that? Is that just the game now for everybody? Is who's their coach?
No, but it plays a big factor sometimes. I'm just letting it be known. Like, I not to cut you off, G, but like, I would listen to Illinois top 25 arguments based on the reasons you said. I would listen to it based on the fact that they got TSJ back and got Coleman back, have Danger back, got some pieces. I would listen to it. I would hear an argument for that. If you came up to me and saw an unsuspecting Carter in the corner of a coffee shop with a Sleepers hat on, and you go, "Oh, you're Carter from Sleepers. I wanted to bounce this idea off of you. I think Wisconsin should be a top 25 team." I would graciously say, "Stop right there. Thank you, but no thank you. I'm going to remove myself from this situation because you're not okay, and I hope you get the help you need." What are we talking about here? And you got them top 15 the scene. CJ, my boys, ball knowers. I put you in that category. Come on, man. Wisconsin 15. Do you like cheese curds that much? That's what it's got to be. Madison's got you in a trance because it ain't what happened. It ain't the product on the floor. I know AJ Storr didn't boost this team that much, and I like the addition of AJ Storr. But come on now.
You're the biggest Tyler Wall guy on the planet. If you're saying this, then yeah, I don't get it. They were bad last year. Like, you have to buy that everybody's better and looks totally different.
They weren't bad until Tyler Wall got hurt, though. They were good to start the season.
They weren't top 15 good. Like, Chucky Hepburn's the point guard.
They were.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
They not top 15 in the country good? No, they were not. Like,
bro, that first stretch of the season, yes, they were.
They were like fringe top 25 card at best. I swear we can dig up the number. If they were top 15 good until Tyler Wall went down, then they should be 15th this year. Like,
well, it was like a 2-week stretch.
I don't know. Can we go through? Here's a list of teams that are underneath Wisconsin and Illinois by default, but I'm more mad about Wisconsin. Kentucky is worse than Wisconsin with that recruiting class and with Antonio Reeves back and with Trey Mitchell. No, Gonzaga worse than Wisconsin. I'm a big time Gonzaga hater. Don't love this roster. Don't think they're great. They still got RJ Nembhard, and they still got I like Nolan Hickman more than anything Wisconsin has. Moving on. North Carolina, RJ Davis and Armando Bacot. I get it. They underwhelmed last year. Those two guys are way better than anybody on Wisconsin's roster. And like, the reason North Carolina was mediocre might have left the building. Nobody left Wisconsin that would maybe make everybody better. Texas, Max Asmus, Tyrese Hunter, all the guys Carter likes, Dylan Mitchell. Like, I just can't process. There's a lot of actual good teams that do belong in the like 10 to 15 range that aren't Wisconsin.
There's other Big Ten teams I would put in there. Give me Maryland better than Wisconsin. Give me Ohio State better than Wisconsin. Like,
and listen, man, we're probably gonna God forbid this finds its way to some higher ups that are important in the Big Ten. We might lose some opportunities for this segment, but shit, man, like we're not going to lie to the people. Okay. We're the biggest Big Ten people out here. We got Wisconsin in the top 15. What in the Andy Cats are we doing right now? Okay. Anybody that's not on this list you think does belong in a positive sense?
Well, shit, if Wisconsin's at 15, there's a lot of teams that got an argument to be up in here. I think Kansas State should be. I think Kansas State should be with the additions that they have. I like Tyler Perry. I still think that Maryland should be in there too. I think that Maryland's going to be really, really good this year. But it's more so the teams that are so high on it, like the Kentucky. Just even saying it out loud makes me giggle. That Wisconsin is better than Kentucky. Just they're not.
Yeah, it's insane. Alabama's not on this list. That's crazy.
It was UCLA in the top 25?
UCLA was 20th.
20th, okay.
Yeah, Alabama's not on this list. That feels crazy to me. Colorado isn't on this list, and I would like to see them in like at least the 20s. But again, I don't know. Looking at this list, I'm just kind of like Baylor's 10th, and Baylor got way worse from a team that wasn't 10th last year. So I don't know. I didn't expect this from CJ Moore and Vicini, is what I would say. I like those guys. This is weak, and lists are hard, but this is weak, guys.
This is hard, but you got to take the layups, man. Like put Michigan State top 5. Take the layup.
Purdue's way better than 4th, by the way, but that's for another day.
Oh God, Greg.